Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the IRS collects nearly all federal revenue, and that means that behind every road we build, every Social Security check that we pay is the IRS, making sure that everyone pays what the law says they owe. No politics. But Donald Trump has a different idea. He wants to use the IRS to punish his enemies. On May 2nd, Trump said, quote, "We are going to be taking away Harvard's tax-exempt status." Harvard wouldn't cave in to other demands Trump made, so Trump said he would hurt them using the IRS. Now, this is about more than Harvard. It is a threat to anyone who might displease the president, including the people or organizations that can't afford to have expensive legal battle if Trump sets the IRS on them. So, Mr. Long, when you and I met, I asked you whether it was illegal for the president to tell the IRS to revoke a taxpayer's nonprofit status. And you said in our meeting that you weren't sure, but you would take a look and consult with lawyers. I sent you the statute. You've had 3 weeks to talk to the lawyers about it. So let's jump in. Mr. Long, is it illegal for the president to direct the IRS to revoke a taxpayer's nonprofit status?
In the first place, he wouldn't do that. He's not going to come to me and say that. That's not my question,
Mr. Long. Please don't start down this.
Are we on section 7212 or 7217?
I'm at 26 U.S.C. 7217. Do I need to read it to you?
Prohibits any member of the executive branch to request the IRS to conduct or terminate an audit on a taxpayer.
All righty. So is it illegal?
I'm going to follow the law, and if that's the law, yes.
Okay, but I want you, that is the law.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear. Is it illegal for the President of the United States to instruct the IRS to remove a taxpayer's nonprofit status?
Prohibits any member of the executive branch to request the IRS to conduct or terminate an audit of the taxpayer.
Right. Is that a yes?
I'd have to go to the lawyers at the IRS to tell me.
No, come on. You just read it.
I know, but I don't see the instance that you're speaking about in there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see.
Look, it says it shall be unlawful for any applicable person, which in this case includes the president, to request directly or indirectly any officer or employee of the Internal Revenue Service to conduct or terminate an audit or other investigation of any particular taxpayer. Is it illegal for the president to instruct the IRS to remove nonprofit status from a taxpayer?
I'm not going to have the answer that you need. I apologize, but like I said,
why are you not having the answer? You've had 3 weeks to consult with lawyers. The statute is about as clear as plain English.
Well, if I say I'm going to follow the law, why would you need to ask me the question?
Well, because I want to make sure that you understand what the law says. If you think follow the law means you just get to make it up on the spot, then, Bud, you don't get to be the IRS commissioner.
I said I would.
The point here is to follow the law as it is written. And I'm asking what I think is a pretty simple question. Can the President of the United States legally tell the IRS to change someone's nonprofit status?
I'm not able to answer.
You can't read these words and tell what those words say?
I can read the statute, and I did.
All right, then tell me what they mean. What does it mean to say that a person, an applicable person here, that's the president, right?
Yes.
All right. Cannot directly or indirectly, right, tell any officer or employee, that would be you, of the Internal Revenue Service to conduct or terminate an audit or other investigation of any particular taxpayer. What part do you not understand here?
It seems to be a nonprofit. I don't see exactly what
Okay,
refers to
any taxpayer to start an investigation of any taxpayer.
If it's illegal, I'm not going to allow it to happen in my IRS.
Is it illegal? That's the
Me and you
question.
will
I
be
wanna make
friends
sure you
then.
can
I
read
want to be
this
your friend
statute.
anyway, but we will be on the same page. I'm going to follow the law, and if that's point blank
What
to
do
the
you
law.
understand the law to be saying about the president telling the IRS in his dealings with any particular taxpayer? What do you understand this law to be saying?
I think it sounds like it's saying what you're saying, but I've got a little bit of the section here, and I talked to an attorney that used to be at the IRS and now going to maybe be back at the IRS, and I'm sorry if I don't have the answer.
What, you mean the lawyers told you they couldn't understand this?
The what?
The lawyers told you they couldn't understand this?
I didn't say that.
Well, then tell me, what part do you not understand? It says no person, and you've said that's the president, that includes the president, cannot instruct any officer, that would be you, of the IRS to conduct or to terminate an audit or other investigation for any particular taxpayer.
I don't intend to let anybody direct me to start audit for political reasons or any other type of reason.
Does that include the president of the United States?
That's anyone.
Can you say
Anyone.
yes, that the president of the United States cannot tell the IRS what to do?
I can tell them they're not going to tell me what to do. I can't speak for if there's other agents at the IRS that you're talking about, but I'm telling you what I don't want to have happen in my IRS.
You know, Mr. Long, you'd have a lot more credibility if you just say yes. It's clear that the statute makes it illegal for the president to direct the IRS vis-a-vis any particular taxpayer. And the fact that you want to sit there and dance around about this tells me that you shouldn't be within 1,000 miles of the directorship of the IRS.
Senator Wyden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and colleagues, let me just stipulate for purposes of this morning that this witness is a very entertaining individual. That's not what is at issue this morning. What's at issue are the facts, and that's what I want to go through with you, Mr. Long. After leaving the Congress, you made $65,000 referring your friends to tax promoters who claimed that they acquired income tax credits issued to a Native American tribe and then sold these credits to investors. There's a problem. The IRS said in March that the credits do not exist. They're fake. They are a scam. Now you're asking to be put in charge of the IRS, and the IRS confirms that these aren't real. Tell the committee, do you believe these so-called tribal tax credits actually exist?
Thank you for the question. My only involvement in this matter, like I've said numerous times in the written correspondences back and forth with members of the committee, was to connect interested friends of mine, not robocall, not paying kids $25 an hour to call, but just friends. If they had any interest, then I would say, do you want to get on a Zoom? And I was never on the Zoom.
That's not my question. My question is,
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Do you believe that these so-called tribal tax credits actually exist? That's yes or no.
I do. I can't answer yes or no because I do not know. I think the jury's still out on that. I know since 2022 they've been accepting them, so now they claim that they're not and they haven't been. So I think that all this is going to play out, and I want to have it investigated just as you do. I know you're very interested in this subject. I am too.
Well, I released a recording of an investor call on the scheme last week. One person on the call said they had sold $20 million worth of credits and they'd all been rejected by the IRS. So can you name a single Native American tribe that you or any other promoter acquired these tribal tax credits from?
I worked through Capital Edge Strategies. I didn't work through, I've never talked to anybody at White River. I don't even know anybody at White River, and I don't have any way to know who the tribe is even.
Well, most of your experience with tax involves selling tax shelters that don't exist for a Native American tribe that you can't name, and that's what I'm troubled by. So let's go now to the question of pay to play. In the past year, you made $65,000 referring clients to promoters of what appears to be this fraudulent tribal tax credit. The President announced your nomination on December 4th. Within a matter of weeks, that same tribal tax creditor group of promoters contributed $165,000 to your old campaign, even though you left office years ago. You then transferred the money from the campaign to your pocket. After you were nominated to be IRS commissioner, who did you talk with to solicit those $165,000 in donations?
You know as well as I do that anytime you're dealing with the FEC, you have to follow FEC guidelines, and that's exactly what I did all the way through.
I want to know who you talked with.
And you have to report these things, and it comes out exactly. If I thought something was wrong with it, I sure wouldn't.
Congressman, money doesn't just fall out of the sky. You had to talk to somebody. So who did you talk to about the $165,000? And if it's relevant, did
everyone that I talked to and everyone that I dealt with or didn't talk to was FEC compliant, sir.
Can we get a list of those you talked to?
I gave it all to I gave everything to the FEC. So the FEC, everything we did was compliant with their regulations. So you just expect us to believe that the money just fell out of the sky and it showed up in your campaign treasury? I just find that a little bit implausible. And let's go on to the next one. Promoting the employee retention tax credit. We talked about your experience selling tribal tax credits, this gimmick. Now let's talk about your other tax experience. Since 2023, you've been paid as a referral agent for employee retention tax credit promoters. You stated on a YouTube video that everybody qualifies for the employee retention tax credit, and you urged listeners to ignore CPAs who said they didn't qualify. Do you really think everybody qualifies? If you listen to that video, I hate to correct you, but I didn't say everyone qualifies. I said virtually everyone qualifies, meaning that most people, virtually is in there. I listened to it the other day to make sure. So basically, overwhelmingly everybody qualifies. You want to quibble about it? I think this is wrong, and that's what I'm troubled by. You voted for it. I voted for it. We did it. I voted for it when we all, during the heart of the COVID period, were trying to take employers and employees and get them some help. This problem, which we learned about from the commissioner, took place after COVID receded, and that's why we're so troubled by the fraud. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.